meet tonight's party panel and separate the wheat from the chaff. We've got human rights attorney Brooke Goldstein is here, along with Fox Business senior correspondent Charlie Gasparino and GOP pollster and Maslansky and Partners president Lee Carter. It should be Maslansky and Carter and Partners president.
There we go.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that a Ukrainian name, Maslansky?
No.
Maslansky? You've heard of the Maslansky Act?
Yeah.
Yes.
Something about not adopting babies from Russia.
Oh,
Sure.
no.
So, Lee, a lot of new developments. There's a lot of fodder for the president's enemies. Some of his fiercest defenders are having a tougher time. How do you rate today on a scale of holy crap to meh?
I'm going to put it as a meh. And I'm not saying that because of all the facts that have unfolded. I'm saying it's because the American people are getting tired. They're inundated with information. It's a lot more noise. And people have sort of already decided what they think about this. In many cases, they're saying, I think the president's guilty. And in other cases, they're saying, yeah, this might be improper. Is it impeachable? I don't know. And I think right now it's just trying to weed through all this information until there's something really tangible, until there's a moment where it's all really down to a vote, until we see the president actually being impeached, until we see some real action. I don't think that anything's
No, we're not going to get a lot of action. I'll tell you why. Because we used to have Dallas, and Dallas had entire storylines that unfolded in 60 minutes, and it was very satisfying.
I wasn't a big fan, so
you don't have
say,
to be a fan.
It's going over my head.
You knew who the characters were, you knew what was going on, and there was a resolution at the end of the show. Now we're in a Breaking Bad era, where everything is a slow burn, and you just get a little bit, and you get some teasy parts, and I think Lee is right about that, but what has been problematic for the president so far?
I think,
you know the guy.
Yeah, and I've known him. He's been crazy, batshit since...
Charlie, you can't say that word and you know it.
Bat crap?
Fine.
Oh, sorry about that. Anyway.
Come on, man. Don't make my job difficult. People got to call people in the control room.
That's fine. But anyway, okay, don't bring me back. It's 9 o'clock. But in any event...
You're trying to get disinvited?
Anyway, think about it this way. Yeah. And this is why I think this plays to Trump's hand. His presidency has been one rolling, holy crap.
Yes.
And, we've defined his deviancy so far down. And some of his deviancies are interesting because, he's against the establishment. Some of them are, really noxious, like making fun of disabled reporters and some of the other stuff.
Talking about banning vaping altogether. That's a bad urge.
And some of them could be sort of illegal, like what he did here. Mm-hmm. But I think right now the public is sort of conflating all these together.
Yes.
And
that's what Democrats want them to do. They want
No.
They want people to take the parts of his personality that are the most offensive and sort of wad everything together.
My point, Kennedy, is that conflating them plays to his advantage because people have just gone tired on a lot of this stuff. I mean, I think he's got to do something really bad. And one other thing, if he runs against Elizabeth Warren, nobody's going to care if he did a quid pro quo.
And we're going to talk about that a little later because, there are some seasoned politicians who echo that exactly. But the thing about the president's base is they are not abandoning him. So everyone's trying to draw these parallels between the Nixon Watergate scandal and what's happening now. And it's not quite as similar and as pat as certain journalists would have you believe. What does it say about his base that they are hanging on and that they don't care?
Well, it's so interesting you say that because I think we're here because the Democrats made a calculus about their base. Mm-hmm. And, we have to stop pretending like we've reached some legal threshold that has now triggered impeachment. Impeachment is a political process. It's not a legal process. The president has not committed any crime. Nothing has been proved. There's no objective reporting about this whatsoever. Sure.
Well,
but the Democrats have determined that there is a political appetite within their base now for another impeachment attempt. And I think what's so scary here is that the way that this is being carried out in total secrecy, where you have the Democrats that are clearly selectively leaking parts of transcripts. Only 3 out of the 14 depositions are now, put out there in the public, is leading people to a failure to objectively and rationally come to any conclusions. Nobody knows what's going on. I mean, even the most educated Americans are having a really hard time following this story.
And this is a three-part.
But let's be real clear.
Hold on. Follow me for a second here because this is a three-parter. You've got the sex, the pregnancy, and the baby. Democrats have been promising the sex, but they've wanted to get pregnant for quite some time now. But will impeachment deliver? I don't think it will, because even though there's some bad news, and it looks like the president made some really stupid and bad decisions.
And probably illegal.
Certainly with the people around him who don't say, this is a bad idea, don't say that.
Let's be real clear here. I've covered business scandals for years. Quid pro quos. You pay me this. Yes, and I have a vowel at the end of my name, so just watch out. So quid pro quos are generally illegal.
Okay, but flesh that out.
No. Just let me point. A sitting president cannot be indicted for.
Okay, so what about the teachers union in California that spends lots and lots of money on various state campaigns and then expects in return that the lawmakers?
When prosecutors get
why do they expect that? Because
when you get an email or a tape recording saying you do this, I give you that.
Yeah.
You're getting to that illegality. But my bigger point is this: I don't think it's going to matter. I mean, the Democrats are so leftist right now. Just think about it. You're an average person, particularly independents, because that's who's going to decide this election. You're sitting there, okay, do I want Elizabeth Warren, who's going to destroy the U.S. economy, do all this crazy stuff, or can I, 4 more years of this nut job?
No, you know what the Democrats have right now? They've got tasty tofu. And they've got a lot of hungry vegans, but they're trying to sell it as a steak. And it's got to be a big thing. It's got to be a big, real thing, because steak is different and it's delicious. I think right now they're still on tofu.
Although I put ketchup on steak. Is that a problem?
Of course you do. No, you have very, very low taste.
Well done, too?
Yeah, I'm like Trump in that regard.
Like a hockey puck. Well, more about the panel's culinary delights in just a little bit. First up, the much... Navy. I love it. I think it's fantastic. Sean Spicer got ticketed for several moving violations on last night's Dancing with the Stars, but despite finishing dead last for a 4th straight week, Spicy remains on the show thanks to a steady stream of Trump voters and supporters. And that's a fact that was not lost on the judges. Oh, they're so mad.
All right, Len, what you think? Wow! We keep throwing you out the boat, and the viewers keep throwing a life preserver. Why not?
You bunch of liberal blowhards. The MAGA mayhem did not sit well with the New York Times, who called Spicer's victory over Kate Flannery, quote, outrageous. But despite the old gray lady's insistence that Spicer be cut from the show, President Trump wants him to keep cutting a rug. He tweeted, quote, vote for Sean Spicer on Dancing with the Stars. He is a great and very loyal guy who is working very hard. #MAGA. So will Sean Spicer dance his way to the victory lane, or will Democrats finally find an election result they can accept? The party panelists return Brooke Goldstein, Charlie Gasparino, and Lee Carter. Charlie, I think this is fantastic, and I hope people keep voting for him, and I hope those bubble-encrusted fuss budgets on the left coast.
Yeah, the Times is like all outraged.
Why were they so mad? Who's writing the Times?
Of all this
my 14-year-old daughter's friend.
Of all the stuff to get pissed off about it, this is what gets them going.
There are things to get really mad about right now.
The Village people, right, in the Navy? Just make sure. Okay.
Yeah,
I grew up in the 70s. I should know this.
Yeah, you sure did. It's always Studio 54 and Charlie's case.
Yes, that's right. We tried to get in there. We couldn't. I couldn't get in the line back then.
But okay. I know a guy.
Okay, so I'm just trying to be serious here. What does this mean that Spicy has to do Dancing with the Stars?
It means that it's a high-profile show.
It's a bigger message here. That
you get paid every week you're on.
You're so radioactive when you come out of the Trump administration that you got to go to Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, Sarah Huckabee Sanders isn't on the show. It's Sean Spicer. He's a cultural phenomenon.
By the way, he wasn't that bad. I don't know why was he that bad dancing?
He's terrible.
And I like Len, Terry, and Bruno.
I thought he was
embarrassing.
I think they're all being.
I think he's a terrible dancer. But I think this goes a long way to show how loyal Trump supporters are, that they will go out there and they will vote. I mean, look at him.
Why is he
the
doing
more
it?
mad that the New York Times gets, the more it ensures that Sean Spicer stays on the show.
But how funny is it? I mean, liberals have no tolerance for conservatives in pop culture. They literally won't let him dance in their space. And it's just so funny how triggered they get. And Trump, is laughing.
That's why Charlie
so
Sheen
hard
can't get a job right now.
He broke reality TV. I mean, he is everywhere. Politics is everywhere. You just can't get away from it now.
No, and people are so mad about it. And Sean Spicer's like, why can't we just set our differences aside for a little bit and dance?
It's horrible. It's horrible that I had to watch this.
Why?
Because this is like the Dancing with the Stars.
You didn't have to watch it.
It's
That's
the
what's
worst.
amazing
No,
about
I did.
I had
to.
You can turn the channel.
I had to do. No, I had
and
to.
people
do
get
some
so
research.
outraged every year at the contestants, and whenever there's like a Disney kid on there, like they already know how to dance. It's not fair.
So Spicy's like, what? He's an amateur dancer. Like he's not a good dancer, right?
Not yet.
A better press.
By the end of the show, he's going to be a rockette.
Right.
That's my hope. I want to see the high kick.
Absolutely.
How high can he go?
That was pretty good. Now he was limber. Didn't Trump always make fun of him for his weight? He looked pretty good there.
He did. Yeah. I hear he's doing
working out.
SLT and Pilates.
I think that the other thing, though, that you see about Sean Spicer, he's got a really good sense of humor about all of the things that have happened since out of us. I think people like
He's getting the last laugh. He's going to get a book deal. He's going to get a cooking show.
Right. There's no question.
I hear they're pissed off about it. He's becoming likable. That conservatives, aren't.
I liked him from the minute he talked about the crowd sizes. That was so funny and stupid.
So fake. It was the best. Really, this is the best attended inauguration ever.
Period.
What about these pictures? They're lies. Damnable liberals. All right, I want to thank you all so much.
Thank you so
Charlie,
much.
and Brooke. A great night, even with Charlie's potty mouth. Yay! Topical Storm is next.